Hey fellow farmtroverts, if you're like us and you're still not growing 100% of your own food, then you are probably hitting up the grocery store on the reg, and you're probably feeling the pinch of those grocery prices. The pinch of grocery prices, not that pinch, in your wallet. But what if you could still buy the same food that you buy today and save money doing it without even using coupons? Today, we are going to figure out if that's even possible. It's time to go grocery shopping, Farmtrovert style.
I had this theory that anytime you're buying a more convenient item at the grocery store, you're going to be paying more. Like cheese that's already shredded for you, fruit that's already cut, things like that. And so we set out to find out if that was actually true. And the only way I could get him to participate is if I let him have another spreadsheet.
Which I have.
And there was a lot of mathing and late nights studying the numbers because we're just that nerdy. And what we found out was pretty surprising.
We found a lot of items at the grocery store where you could save money buying a less convenient version of those items, including one item that blew our mind, just how much money you can save by buying the less convenient version. But one thing that didn't surprise us that much is that quite a few of these items came from the produce section. So right out of the gate, we have pre-cut pineapple. A package of pre-cut pineapple right now costs $4.89 at our grocery store, but if you buy just a actual pineapple and take a couple minutes to cut it up and cube it up into bite-sized pieces yourself, you can actually save $3.10 on that $4.89 package of pre-cut pineapple.
Was that the mind-blowing one?
No.
There's a more mind-blowing one.
No, there's a more mind-blowing. Yeah, no, that wasn't even the biggest one.
Along those same lines, we looked at apples, a pre-cut version and just the regular whole apple version. And it turned out that if you buy the pre-sliced package, it was $3.49 at our grocery store. And if you just buy the bag of apples and cut them yourself, you'll save $2.27 on that $3.49.
Yep, crazy how much you can save just by getting out a knife and a cutting board and cutting your own stuff. And it wasn't just limited to fruit. We ran into this with cabbage. So a bag of cabbage costs $2.39 for us. But if you just buy a head of cabbage and cut it up yourself, you can actually save $1.94 on that same amount of cabbage off of that $2.39 bag of cabbage. And it doesn't even stop there. Lettuce is the same kind of thing.
So it turns out that the bag of pre-cut romaine costs $2.49 at our grocery store. And if we just buy the head of romaine lettuce and cut it ourselves, we will save $1.07 every time.
Which is great if you eat a lot of salad like we do. Try to. At least we do, not the kids. Sometimes.
Jinx.
Oh. And weirdly, even though we were chugging right along through the produce, getting lots and lots of savings, there was one fruit we found where you don't actually save all that much. You still save a little bit, and that was pears.
Okay, so we looked at buying a whole pear versus buying the little fruit cups where they're already diced and sitting in simple syrup, sugar, water.
Light syrup.
And it turns out that the packages of the pre-cut pears cost $2.69 at our grocery store. And so if you buy just the regular pears, you'll save 58 cents each time.
Yeah. Which if you can't get enough pears, that's going to add up. But that's not one that had us jumping up and down, but we wanted to mention it because it is a savings.
Did any of them really make you jump up and down?
The last one almost fainted with shock.
Oh, wow.
Also, we're never buying that convenience item again, I'll tell you that.
That's true.
Well, it wasn't just fruits and vegetables where we found savings. We also found savings all across the grocery store, and my next favorite was rice. This one might seem like a no-brainer that a big bag of rice would be cheaper than the individual single-serving rice pouches that you can buy in a box. But we didn't realize just how much cheaper it would be until we did the math in the handy-dandy spreadsheet.
We did the math.
Well, you were there.
I was supportive.
Moral support. Yes, but A box of 6 bags of individual serving rice at our grocery store costs $3.39, and if you just bought a big bag of rice and made those individual rice servings yourself, you would save $2.36 just on that little transaction, and that doesn't even involve a knife or a cutting board. On down the aisle, and this was actually my favorite discovery because I don't think we'd ever done this before.
I had done it just a different way.
We'd never done it this way before, and that was brown sugar. So brown sugar is made with just granulated sugar and molasses. And granulated sugar, turns out, is way cheaper than brown sugar. The brown sugar at our grocery store costs $2.29 a bag. But if you made that same amount of brown sugar with just granulated sugar and molasses, you would actually save $1.15 on a $2.29 bag of brown sugar. It's almost 50% off just because you took a second to mix a little molasses in with some sugar and make your own brown sugar.
Yeah, that's definitely one that we're gonna keep on doing.
Oh, I don't think I'll ever buy brown sugar again. Plus, we tasted it and it's delicious.
Moving over to the dairy aisle, there's a couple things that we buy quite often, and that is cheese and yogurt. And so we decided to look into those, and we found for the cheese, if you buy the pre-shredded kind, it costs $2.29 at our grocery store. And so if you buy the block and shred it yourself, it turns out you save 40 cents each time. I think that was on a 16-ounce block or bag.
Yes, 16-ounce bag of shredded cheese. If you shredded it yourself from block, save 40 cents.
Yep.
Which, with the amount of cheese that we eat, adds up pretty quick.
Yeah, and you get to avoid the cellulose that they put in the shredded cheese, so bonus.
Bonus. That's free.
The yogurt, we wanted to compare the individual servings of yogurt in the little containers versus a 4-pack of those same containers or the bigger tubs of yogurt. And what we found was a little bit surprising, to me anyway. The individual ones where it's already scooped out for you into the little convenient package was the most expensive way to do it.
That was not the surprising part.
No, that comes later. But those are $1.50 each at our grocery store. And then it turns out that if you buy a 4-pack of those same containers, it's about the same price as the big tub. And on those you'll save 28 cents on the big tub or 25 cents on just buying the 4-pack of individual containers of yogurt.
Which is crazy to me, that you could buy 4 individual containers, or you could buy a 4-pack, and just buying the 4-pack you save $1.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I really thought the tub was going to be the big winner there, but it wasn't. So if you are in a situation where you need the smaller containers and you hate the earth,
you just want to create trash just for the heck of it. Just trash everywhere. You probably throw it out your car window.
I'm just kidding.
Then a deer eats it and gets hit.
Yeah. So I think we'll still buy the tubs just for the sustainability reasons, but turns out that the 4-pack is about just as much saving.
Yep. Coming in a distant third, but still saving money, is butter. So we compared a tub of butter to sticks of butter, and it turns out that if you buy a tub of butter for $3.49, spreadable, spready butter, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we weren't talking about the margarine, but we're talking about the butter that is sometimes mixed with oil to kind of make it more easily spreadable.
Yeah, but still real butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that butter. But that same amount of butter in a stick, if you just bought it in sticks and then, I don't know, put it in a butter dish at room temperature so that it was just as spreadable as the butter spread, is actually 25 cents cheaper as sticks of butter versus a tub of butter. So not nothing, but not a mind blown on that one.
If you're into baking, this next one is for you. So we looked at the jars of yeast versus the individual 3-pack of yeast and found out that the 3-pack costs $1.99 And so if you just scoop out the amount of yeast that you need out of the jar yourself, then you can save 83 cents.
Every time you make 3 loaves of bread, 83 cents. Love it.
That's almost $1. That's pretty good.
Everything helps. Yep, that was a good one. Next on the list was instant oatmeal, which is super convenient. We eat it on campouts, but it's actually way cheaper if you make your own instant oatmeal, and we did that just by taking oats and grinding them up and adding a little brown sugar and cinnamon or dried apples or whatever you want to put in your oatmeal. And if you do that, then you can save $1.27 on a $2.89 8-pack of instant oatmeal.
That's over $1 on that one.
Over $1 per 8-pack.
Yeah.
Well, we've made it down to the most mind-blowing piece of savings that we found on our grocery trip, and that was pre-cooked bacon, which is super convenient if you're just having BLTs for lunch, or just you need a quick slice of bacon for whatever you're making, and you always need a quick slice of bacon no matter what you're making, at least I do. But a package of pre-cooked bacon at our grocery store costs $7.49 for a little bag of pre-cooked bacon. And if you would just cook your own bacon, if we just cooked our own bacon, we would save $6.18 on that $7.49 bag of bacon. It's like 80%. I should check that math, but that's not in the spreadsheet. But I mean, it's like an incredible amount of savings. I can't believe we have ever bought a pre-cooked bag of bacon. I don't think I can ever do it knowing that I can save that much money by just cooking my own bacon. Okay, double check that with the spreadsheet, and it is actually 83%, so not bad, just staring at it off the top of my head. Got pretty close. Closest without going over. We're playing Price is Right rules for this percentage. There are 3 more items that we found you could save money on, but they're a little more involved to recreate the convenience item, and you don't save all that much money. So we weren't as sold on these, but they're definitely out there if you want to save money. The first one is garlic. Buying a bag of pre-peeled garlic or buying a whole clove of garlic and peeling it yourself. And at our grocery store, a pre-peeled bag is $2.89. And if you buy a clove of garlic and do all the peeling yourself, you save 76 cents, which is not nothing, but we don't use an excessive amount of garlic, and we hate peeling garlic. So that
we use a lot of garlic. Whenever the recipe says something, I always like double the garlic.
Well, that explains a lot. That explains a lot.
No. But I don't enjoy peeling it for sure.
The next one is black beans. Actually buying dried black beans and rehydrating them yourselves versus just buying a can of black beans. And turns out it's a little involved to rehydrate these things and get them. You have to can them in a pressure canner.
You don't have to. That's just what I like to do.
We like to can them in a pressure canner even though you don't have to.
And you could just soak them in water overnight, but I never remember, so I do them in the pressure canner.
Very good. So that's a convenience factor. So you can save. You save about 46 cents per can, and at our grocery store, cans cost 88 cents. So you save about 50% of the price of a can, but you gotta work a little harder for it.
I mean, 50 cents, and we go through a lot of beans, so I would actually put this in most of the time, I would rather use our own canned beans versus the can, but I won't feel too bad if sometimes I need the convenience of buying the already canned one.
And the last one is powdered sugar.
Yeah, so we took granulated sugar and threw it in a little blender and blended it all up. Added a little cornstarch to make our own powdered sugar. And it turns out that the powdered sugar was $3.19 for a bag. And so if you powder it yourself, you can save $1.60.
Yeah, which was a good bit of savings, but we tried several different types of blenders on this sugar, and we could just not, no matter how much we blended it up, we could not get it quite as fluffy as store-bought powdered sugar. It came pretty close, especially with the cornstarch, but if you absolutely need something to not have that kind of granulated texture to it, then it may be worth it to just buy a bag of powdered sugar and own that convenience. Even though we could have made it cheaper ourselves, it's not quite the same. One convenience item that we just enjoy having as a convenience is baby carrots. And we compared baby carrots to a bag of real carrots, and raw carrots, I guess you would say. Whole carrots, thank you. Yes. And you can actually save 69 cents on a $1.89 bag of baby carrots if you just took whole carrots and chopped them up and made your own carrot sticks as close as you could get them to baby carrots. And that's great. But golly, the convenience of baby carrots almost has us winning out on this one. Like, I would rather just have a bag of baby carrots. Maybe it's just me.
And when we first priced it out, the baby carrots happened to be on sale at our grocery store. And when they were on sale, they were cheaper than the whole carrots. So there's that too.
Yep, so just wait for baby carrots to go on sale. That was my lesson on this one. So there were two food items that broke the paradigm for a more processed food being more expensive than the unprocessed version. And that was lemon juice and whipped cream.
Yeah, I was really kind of surprised by both of those. I really thought that the bottle of lemon juice would be more expensive than the fresh lemons, but that turned out to be not true.
Yep, squeezing your own lemon juice from real lemons turns out is more expensive than just buying a bottle of lemon juice, and way more work.
Yeah, and the whipped cream, we compared the aerosol can of whipped cream versus making our own from heavy whipping cream, and it turned out that the heavy whipping cream version, even though I will still do it because I think it tastes way better, that one was more expensive than doing the spray can.
Yeah, the spray can came out really much lighter and fluffier. Your heavy whipped cream was really thick and delicious.
And legit.
Delicious and legit. So here's a little behind the scenes on how we did some of these numbers. I've got my laptop here and I'm wearing glasses so that I appear smarter. And here we go. The calculation that we made really depended on how each food item was listed at the grocery store. So a couple quick examples on some calculations that we did. One of the easier ones was rice. We compared two different packagings for rice. One was $2.50 a pound and one was 70 cents a pound. So just a quick subtraction tells you that buying one over the other is going to save you $1.80 per pound. And then we took that number and multiplied it by the number of pounds. Well, it was in ounces, so we converted ounces to pounds and then multiplied the total pounds of rice in one of the packaging times the amount of money you would save per pound to get the total savings for that individual package. So that's how we got the number on how much you save on that box of prepackaged rice. Hopefully that made sense. It gets a little more complicated when you move to something where you are not actually using all of the food that you buy, something like a whole pineapple. So for a whole pineapple, we did something very similar in the end, but what we first had to do was shave the outside parts of the pineapple and the core, basically get rid of all of the waste that was not edible. You could eat it. What's that from? And then we took what was left, weighed it, because that's what we wanted to compare against our pre-cut pineapple. So we weighed that and calculated a new price per pound of our whole pineapple, right? Because the price per pound of a whole pineapple at the store included the part that you can't eat. We didn't want that to come into the calculation. So it actually costs more per pound of edible pineapple from a whole pineapple, right? And we wanted to make sure that was a fair comparison. And then we basically did the same thing with the rice. We figured out how much you could save per pound, and we figured out the total pounds in your pre-cut pineapple, multiply those two numbers together, and that's how we came up with a savings of $3.10 on a $4.89 package of pineapple. And if you guys are at all curious about how we did any of the calculations for any of these foods, I'd be more than happy, and Lauren would be more than bored to have me walk you through in excruciating detail. Let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to spin this computer around and show you guys any calculation that you're curious about. So there you have it, a whole bunch of items that you can still buy and still eat at the grocery store, and with a little bit of chopping and elbow grease yourself, you can save a lot of money by processing your own foods instead of buying pre-processed foods. If we missed anything, or if you have another great way to process your own food and save money at the grocery store, let us know in the comments below. And we'll see you next time on The Farm Shepherds.